Coming up in today's video, we're going to be talking about GCW and AEW Fight Forever. What's going on with that whole trademark? This is the reason why AEW's game is delayed. Also, we're going to talk about Legado del Fantasma and some WrestleMania plans. And yes, we're going to talk about a huge potential announcement from AEW Saturday nights. What does this mean? It's coming up right here on The Ango Show. All right, y'all, we're going to kick things off with Legado del Fantasma. Sean Ross Sapp reported from Fightful Select that WWE does, in fact, have plans for Legado del Fantasma during WrestleMania weekend. Whether this is a big match on one of the two nights of WrestleMania or something else has yet to be announced. They weren't informed of the specifics, but we know that WWE does have major plans for Legado del Fantasma for WrestleMania weekend. Now, here's the thing. This is a very interesting situation for WWE because WWE is reportedly going to have a smaller match card for both nights. However, with a smaller match card, this also means that you're probably going to see a little bit higher quality of matches on WrestleMania. With less matches, higher quality matches, that also means that you're going to have time for other segments. Maybe you have some wrestlers involved with Legends. Maybe you actually start incorporating some segments into WrestleMania to start preparing for even new storylines. I think Legado del Fantasma will be great in any sort of role. It would be nice to see WWE do some kickoff matches because of the fact that the WrestleMania cards will be smaller. This way you could just get them to wrestle in front of the crowds, especially for some of the relatively new talent, guys that are trying to get over, Madcap Moss, Legado del Fantasma. There's so many others I could throw in there. Johnny Gargano, Dexter Loomis, Bronson Reed. The idea that maybe you could put them on the kickoff show in such a large audience, it would just be a really cool thing to do some showcase matches, let them wrestle for 10, 15 minutes, whatever it may be. Also, I do want to consider that maybe NXT could be in the works with Stand and Deliver. We do know that WWE just brought Johnny Gargano back to NXT for a match with Grayson Waller for Stand and Deliver. Maybe they do the same thing with Legado del Fantasma. I think that could be really cool to help sell tickets for Stand and Deliver. But it's going to be cool to see what happens. Guys, we got to talk about AEW Fight Forever. Obviously, the game has been delayed. There's been so many different things being said about this. We have seen so many different sources come out and talk about GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, and AEW have some sort of situation that involves the Fight Forever trademark. Now, if you guys don't remember, back during the pandemic, GCW did a huge event for charity using the Fight Forever name. And AEW had obviously trademarked AEW Fight Forever prior to that. Brett Lauderdale has come out on Twitter and basically said he's not trying to collect any money from AEW whatsoever. He's not trying to take any money from Tony Khan at all. However, it appears that right now there seems to be some sort of talks in regards to a settlement. And the main issue at hand basically is not that GCW is trying to prevent the release from AEW Fight Forever, but the idea is that Brett Lauderdale and GCW continue or want to continue to use that trademark even after AEW uses this title and publishes the game. But for those who are wondering why the game is being held up, this is one of the reasons. Now, multiple sources have also come out and said that right now they are actually in a settlement phase. So that's kind of what's the situation right now. There's going to be some sort of settlement that's made. I think the big thing is, if Fight Forever is something that GCW wants to use going forward and AEW wants to use Fight Forever for a video game, I think if you're Tony Khan, if you're Brett Lauderdale, you just get to the point where you shake hands and say, listen, let us use the name afterwards. You guys continue to put out your game, whatever it may be, and that's it. If Brett Lauderdale is telling the truth in the sense that he's not trying to collect money, which I think is pretty reasonable, ultimately, I think, both companies should be able to use it. Fight Forever is really it's so sad because if you think about Fight Forever, it's a crowd chant, right? And then this is awesome or get the tables, right? There's so many different things that could be trademarked that could be used in the same situation. And it's just so silly, in my opinion, to have a situation where both companies can't use it. You know what I mean? But also at the same time, too, I don't think this is going to be anything that is drawn out much longer. I think some sort of settlement or some sort of agreement will come through, and then we should finally get the release date for Fight Forever. But if you guys want to know why Tony Khan isn't talking about this publicly, it's because there is some sort of talks with both companies, and it is going to be very cool to see the game finally come out. it would be really strange to see if this was actually an issue that prevents the game from coming out with the name Fight Forever, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think, just based on my own prediction, no inside knowledge here whatsoever, but I think GCW will be able to use it, and I think Tony Khan will be able to use it, and I think they'll probably make everything right and everything will go smooth. And that should be really, really cool. So there shouldn't be a concern there. Guys, and for our final topic of today's video, we got to talk about this. AEW could potentially be getting a 1 hour long show on Saturday nights. We have been talking about all of these new trademarks. Tony Khan publicly suggesting that he's got some very major announcements that are set to come out soon. This one is exciting. Following the success of Dynamite and Rampage, AEW is potentially bringing a third show, according to Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men radio show. He is now reporting that AEW could be getting another hour of television on Saturdays. It is also reported that top talent within the company wasn't briefed on this, if that was actually the case. Although it's unconfirmed, Sean Ross Sapp did mention on Fightful Select that rumors have been circulating that AEW could end up with the 6 p.m. time slot, which used to belong to WCW Saturday night. This would make for 4 hours of television for AEW every week. This is very exciting. I am truly excited about the possibility of AEW getting another hour of television. That means AEW would have Dynamite on Wednesdays, Rampage on Fridays, and AEW on Saturday nights. It does make me wonder why Warner Media Discovery would choose not to bring Ring of Honor on that time slot and instead use AEW. But for those who keep talking about Rampage's downward spiraling ratings and how AEW is in the mud, this is just proof that AEW has a very good television partner, and you guys need to stop talking about ratings, because clearly AEW getting another hour of television being its own show is very massive news. Now, here's the thing. If AEW is going to do this, obviously, this is going to become a very, very tricky situation, because AEW tapes Rampage already. So how will AEW start doing the logistical setup for this show? In my opinion, what I think needs to happen is AEW tapes AEW Dark after AEW Dynamite, which then takes over the spot for Rampage, okay? And then on Friday nights, AEW should go live with Rampage. After Rampage, they should tape for AEW Saturday nights. My guess is it's probably going to be the Collision show, because that was the recent trademark. So, for example, we'll say AEW Collision. I think Rampage should go live on Friday nights, and then Collision joins, or it's taped right after Rampage, scheduled for Saturday nights, which is pre-taped. And then moving forward at Universal Studios, Ring of Honor tapings only. No more AEW Dark. That would be my solution to this. I think this would be a very big help for AEW, and you can actually start building Rampage as a very big, desirable show, because now when you go live every single week and you're taping extra content for AEW Saturday night's show, I think it's just a massive win all around. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.